So as we move on to the percentages, what you need to understand is that 100 is used as a means of the whole, which is a percentage as a whole, right? Remember, we talk about a whole, a complete. It is 100 equal parts, 100%. So a percentage is simply being a format of a what we had before as a ratio. Remember when you had a ratio, I said a ratio is used when you are to share or divide something from two. You're comparing two or more. John and Peter, they share in the ratio 3:4. So you want to know this one is going to get how many parts? This one is going to get, according to what they are sharing. So it is the same thing as a ratio in that concept. The only difference that we have now is that you are already given how to share that, and what you are sharing is the 100%. This is what is to be shared. What are we to share is the 100%. So out of that 100%, we are going to check, okay, what is this quantity going to obtain? Quantity A as a percentage of quantity B. It will be quantity A over B times what is to be shared. So A is going to have out of that percentage. So it is the concept of what? A percentage this time. All right. So let us consider this. We are saying it is a way of expressing. It is a way of expressing what part one quantity is of what? Of another. So one quantity to another. So meaning to say, if we are to consider quantity A as a percentage of quantity B, quantity A as a percentage of what? Quantity B. How is this going to happen? A as a percentage of quantity B. So that is A over B. A of A over B times 100%. So the 100% represents a whole. This one, it is a whole. The 100% is a whole. That is what is to be compared, to be shared. Simple like that. So vice versa, we can have an increase, we can have a decrease of that, but percentage is simply taken from there. All right. So for an example, we can be given, let us just consider what percentage or what percentage is 36? What percentage is 36 of 48? 36 of what? 48. It follows that it's going to be 36 over 48. As a percentage, 100. You multiply to 100, just like that. All right. So on your calculator, you were simply going to use it direct 36 over this. All right. So Let us see what we are going to have. All right, but that was gonna give us what? That was gonna give us 75. All right, 75. Also, let me show you guys the screen here. 75 over what? Oh, sorry, now I'm giving you the answer there. 36 over what? 48. Then multiply to 100. So this is what? 75. So it's gonna be 75%. So meaning to say 36 is 75% of 48. That is what it actually means. 36 is what? 75% of 48. 36. What percentage is 36 of that? That is how these questions can be given as. All right. So we can be given different questions. What percentage is 120 rand? All right. Of 90 rand. What percentage is 120 of what? Of 90 rand. So as a percentage, 120 of that. A as a percentage of B, it's A over B. So 120 of this is going to be 120 over what? 90 times 100%. Quantity A over quantity B. So this is it. So we can have something that is bigger than 100% when you're multiplying 120 over 90 times 100%. So this is going to give us 400 over 3. Change this one to a decimal. That is 133,333 and so on. So that is 133,33 like that. So it can be bigger than that 100. It happens. That's why you see when those inflations are happening, you can be hearing that inflation is at 200%, but you're being told that the whole is 100. No, it can happen like that in cases of what? An increase. It can be more than what you have as a whole. Remember, that is why you also have mixed numbers. You do not just have whole numbers, you also have mixed numbers. So it is a condition like that when it is more than what? 100%. So that is it. How we can be given these questions. What percentage is, all right, let us try this one. 5 grams of what? 2 kilograms. Take note the units here, they are different. 5 grams over 2 kilograms times 100%. We cannot work out different units on a division. So what are we going to do? It's either we can change grams to kilograms, or we can change kilograms to what? To grams. It is easier to change kilograms to grams because we do know that in 1 kilogram we have got what? 1,000 grams. So 2 kilogram means what? 2,000. 2 times 1,000 grams, which is going to give us what? 2,000 grams. So meaning to say, this can be written as 5 grams over what? 2,000 grams times 100%. What is important is that we've got same units. Same units, all right? So this is going to give us what at the end? Let us have our calculators. 5 over what? 2,000. Then we multiply to what? 100%. So this is going to give us 1 over 4 as a decimal, 0.25. So that's 0.25 as a decimal. So that's 0.25%. That's a very small percentage that you have there. So questions can be like that. What percentage is this of that one? All right. Some questions can be of this nature. All right, let us have something that is a little bit different from what we are having here. Let's say we are given a condition where you are given to find a percentage of a number, to calculate a percentage of a number, like calculate 20% of 300. 20% of means what? Times. Like, do not take this one to say quantity A as a percentage of. Here we are comparing two things. Here is this one, 20 of that, like 20% times 300. So whenever you are to calculate a percentage of a certain quantity or a certain value, it is simply percentage times that value that you're given or the number that you're given. So a percentage, 20% of that number, 300, was supposed to be our solution. But how do I remove that percentage? Because I'm supposed to simplify this. Whenever you want to get rid of a percentage, divide by 100. Because remember, 100% is a whole. So it will be 20% over 100%. Percent cancels. So that is how you get rid of that percentage. You divide by what? 100. So whenever there's a percentage, to get rid of that, divide by 100%. So to remove a percentage, divide by what? By 100%. Just like that. So where there's a percentage, it's going to be 20 over what? Over 100. So it will be 20% over 100%. This one cancels. We just remain with what? 20 over 100 times 300. So this is it. That is 20% of what? Of 300, meaning to say we do not have a percentage on our answer. 20 over 100, then we're going to multiply to what? To 300. This is equivalent to what? To 60. So that is how you can answer such typical questions. Get rid of the percentage. Simply divide by what? By 100%. For an example, calculate, let us say we are given 130% of 50 Rand. So still same concept. To answer this, 100%, 130% of what? 50. You multiply to the money that you're given. But how do I get rid of that percentage? Divide by 100. So it's going to be 130 over 100 times 50 Rand. So this is it. So 130 over what? 100 times the 50 Rand is going to give us what? 65. So this is going to be 65 Rand. Okay, just like that. All right. It can be used also to increase or to decrease in that percentage. We can have an increase. We can have a decrease. In what? In a percentage. We can have an increase or a decrease. Just like what we had when we're dealing with ratios, decrease a number, this and that. But here, it is something that is from a percentage. An increase, this is a condition where you are dealing with adding of a percentage. The percentage from what you're given, it has increased. Such as those conditions when you're using value added tax, VAT, value added tax. It's an increase. From what you're given, you must add a percentage, a decrease where you have got those discounts, a discount. There is a promotion, all right? Then they have what? A percentage discount. That's a decrease. So remember, the unit or the whole of a percentage is 100. An increase therefore means that from the 100%, we must add the percentage increase that you're given. It must be added. When it is a decrease in percentage, it means from a whole of 100%, we must subtract that decrease, that percentage decrease. It must be removed. A decrease. So this can affect your calculations. There is a discount from 100%, you subtract the percentage that is given as what? As the discount. These are used also on applications of profit and loss. So this is from your grade 7. But I'm going to find time also add as a class where we are going to deal with these questions separately. Value added tax, all right, working with these profit loss a discount, but that is the condition. Whenever there is a increase in percentage, you add that percentage to 100. If we are having that one as the original value, 100 will be the whole, so you add to that or you subtract to that one. So like I said, we need time so that we find questions which are based on those increase and what and decrease. But with this idea, you can answer some typical questions so that by the time I have that class which is separate, you can just be using it as a reference or just as a revision. So this is it till we meet again.